For those who are new here, let me discuss some important topics before I dive into this video. Basically, I go over the top 10 piers in Maryland, but at the end, I'll mention all the piers as well, so make sure you stay tuned. And then one thing to note too is not all of these piers are relative to you. Like my number one is not going to be your number one, and my number 10 might be different for you. It's just based on, you know, my luck and where I have success, and sometimes it costs more to go to a certain pier, or it's just further, so I can catch the same fish at a pier that's closer to me. So make sure you keep that in mind as well. But this video should be helpful for you just to see what piers are in Maryland, what you can catch, and what bait you should be using. I forgot to mention too, if you like to fish a certain pier in my video that you see, make sure you go to my channel, watch the part 1 series to see where you park and best practices when you fish there. Without further ado, let's start this video. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about Jonas Green Pier. That's my number one because you can catch every single species there. And most importantly, it's free to park. And not to mention, they have a beach for, you know, friends and family. You can go swim. You can also barbecue. You can launch a kayak there also. There is pros and cons to it though, but I'll talk about that later. But yeah, you can crab here. You can get rockfish, catfish, perch, spot, eels, croaker, you name it, they got it. So let's talk about the baits here. You can use mainly lugworms or bloodworms to target spot and perch. Peelers for rockfish, catfish, and perch will occasionally eat it too. But if you really want to target perch, you can use grass shrimp or just shrimp in general. So let's talk about the cons. The cons is, you know, this place is very popular because of that, whatever I mentioned before. And because of that, there's limited parking, so you have to get there early if you're going on a weekend. And it can get crowded too with a lot of fishermen because it's a popular place and it's free parking.
That is beautiful.
Yeah. Alright, Rum and Coke tied for number 2 with Chesapeake. So Rum and Coke is my number 2 because it's paid to park. It's $2.50 per hour at the time I'm making this video. Open sunrise to sunset. And you can catch a lot of species here. You can use that rockfish, perch, spot. You can crab here as well. For bait, you can use razor clams to target perch, and spot normally will eat that too. And I'll put bloodworms and lugworms second to target spot and perch. As for rockfish, you know, you can always use spot or live lining spot, or, you know, cut it up, fillet it. But they'll eat peeler crabs too as well. That's the main source food that they love.
Check that out.
Alright, let's talk about Chesapeake. Chesapeake is just down the road from Rum and Coke. So if Rum and Coke is not working out for you, you can always go to Chesapeake or vice versa. Again, they're open sunrise to sunset. You can use the same baits to target specific species that I talked about in Rum and Coke. You can catch the same species like at Rum and Coke as well. I forgot to mention that. And make sure you get a different parking pass because Rum and Coke's a different pier and Chesapeake is its own pier. You can't use a pass from Rum and Coke at Chesapeake and vice versa. You will get ticketed. And they do check very often. I see a white truck that goes by every so often, and they are on top of it. So make sure you get that new ticket once you go here. And there is a bathroom as well. There is a beach as well. Before you actually go take a left to this pier, you'll take a right. I think there's a little small beach that you can go to, but also you can also barbecue here, set up a hammock, and just hang out with the family if you're not fishing. Alright, let's talk about Thomas Point. Thomas Point is a very private area. You have to go through a residential area, and I'm sure those people will make it this way, so it's hard for fishermen to come and fish. And so you can watch that video I made here to learn how to get here, but basically, you know, you can catch bluefish here, rockfish. My dad caught a crab here once, so you can get crabs too if you want. And spot, white perch, croaker, every single species here. I caught probably my PB stingray here as well. So preferred bait, I would say, you know, same thing again. Lugworms, bloodworms for spot. Perch will occasionally eat it, but your best bet here for perch would be razor clams. As for croaker, they'll eat lugworms, clams too as well, but they prefer shrimp. So, and for bluefish would you would use filleted up spot, small pieces on a high-low or a Carolina rig. Same thing for rockfish, you'll use peelers. As for the times, it varies on the ticket that you bought on that day, so just make sure you watch that video to learn more about times and how you get there. Moving along now, we have number 4, Fort Smallwood, tied with Downs Park Public Pier. Fort Smallwood is $6 to enter sunrise to sunset. They also have a concession stand that's open that sells bait, food, snacks, whatever you like. And same things goes as for the species: rockfish, perch, spot. Crabbing is really good too at the small pier. Once you enter the pier, it's on your left. There's a little ramp that goes down. You can catch catfish here as well. All right, number 4, tied with Fort Smallwood, is Downs Park Public Pier. Right here, this plot is, if you love catfishing, this is the spot for you. They love shrimp here. I used salted shrimp here. You can use fresh shrimp as well. But there's a lot of blue cats, channel cats here. I've caught croaker here, spot, white perch, and the stingrays as well run through here. I see people catch rockfish as well. Just depends on the season when you come. Bait, I use salted shrimp for catfish, and lugworms and bloodworms for everything else. And as for rockfish, you can use cut spot and peeler crabs. Remember to bring a net too, because the pier is kind of high up. If you want to land a big fish, it's a must. And so I forgot to mention too, there's an annual pass that you can buy that costs $30 for in county and $40 out of county. That allows you to go to Fort Smallwood, Downs Public Park Pier, and Quiet Waters Dog Park, and I think another place too. So that saves you money if you guys fish here a lot. Number 5, we have Black Walnut Point. This place is a little further out for most people. It's going across the Bay Bridge towards Ocean City and then down south a little bit. It's really good fishing. Spot that run through here are very big. They're fat, the size of your hands. And bluefish run through here, striped bass, stingray, whatever you want, it's there. This one thing I haven't seen here is crabs, but big stingrays come through here. If you want to have a good fight, be my guest. This is the spot for you. As for bait, paddle tails work great for the bigger game fish. As for bottom feeders, shrimp will work for croaker, lugworms and bloodworms for spot, and white perch. And I would suggest using a sabiki too. Sabiki, I always in my video you'll see me using sabiki because that helps trigger a bite, because the feathers and the colors that are on the hooks just makes the fish more aggressive. As for parking is free. There is porta potties as well. Also, it is sunrise to sunset. Number 6, Point Lookout State Park. This place is hit or miss. Everyone who fishes here, every other fisherman will tell you the same exact thing. But on the days when it hits, it's amazing. You can catch bluefish. There's plenty of crabs. Spot run through here, and they're normally big too as well. Stingray you can catch, speckled trout, and as well as red drum, believe it or not, mackerel as well if you're lucky enough. But not to mention rockfish, of course. But yeah, great place to fish as well as camp. You can go kayaking, you launch your boat, picnic, swim. However, I know a lot of people talk about jellyfish that get pushed in here, so be aware of that. But yeah, overall, Point Lookout on a day where it hits is great fishing. On a day it's missing, it's not good. But stay tuned to the end. I talk about other places you can go to if this place is not hitting. Number 7, we have Piney Narrows. Piney Narrows is really good fishing if you know what you're doing, because there is a lot of snags, and you will lose money and you will snag, guarantee, if you don't know what you're doing. But right here you can use razor clams, lugworms, bloodworms to catch perch and spot. Even rockfish like this you can see me using on my Chesapeake sabiki. And if you really want to get the bigger rockfish, you would probably have to use an inline sinker, trolling sinker, tied to a paddle tail or a fly, or you can just throw a paddle tail on its own. But you have to figure out the tides and the water pressure and everything else if you really want to target the bigger fish. Other than that, parking is free. I believe it is open sunrise to sunset, and not to mention Kent Narrow is down the road as well. I'll talk about that later at the end. Solomon's Island Pier, the only pier that is open 24/7 still at the time I'm making this video, and hopefully that is still true when you're watching this, because everyone keeps on trashing the piers and leaving behind just a mess, and that's why everything is closing down. But not only that, a lot of people are keeping illegal sized fish. So let's just talk about the pier now. Parking is free. You have to park in a designated area, which I'll show you. Well, you can just watch my other videos that I made here, but yeah, it's decent fishing. You will snag a lot because people who crab here just leave their line. They don't bring it up after, and they just pretty much cut it or whatever. It gets snagged. It just snags on top of snags. So you will mostly get snagged here, even if you throw out far. But the fish that run through here, big spot, flounder like you just saw. Probably get rockfish, big croaker, that sea bass right here. And I'm sure you can catch a perch as well. I haven't personally, but I know the perch run through here. Rockfish, of course. Stingray, big stingrays. I've lost 2 here actually. Bill Burton Pier coming at number 9. So I fished here only twice, so I can't really speak on it very well because my first experience I skunked out, and then finally my second time I actually caught something. So what I caught were white perch and spot, and I was using lugworms on my speaky. I've watched other YouTubers. I've seen them catch catfish, stingrays, and rockfish, and I've talked to other fishermen that like walked by me as I was fishing. They said they caught croaker as well. And this is the north end of the pier. There is also a south end of it, and it also has a smaller pier attached to the south end. Parking is free, open sunrise to sunset. Catfish nuggets.
Look at that, guys.
Big spot. Hand size spot. Biting. Not bad. Perch here. Here you go. Actually, no. You want me to get it? Got a plier. Not complaining. I'll take a big spot. Go. Oh, decent size. Oh, nice. There he goes. Oh, you got a catfish too.
Yeah, they got big catfish.
Ooh, from here?
Yeah.
See what fish is around here. Got a small, decent size. Actually, no, it's a small spot. Just literally threw it down. I got some here. Pig grunt. Too, like you guys saw the sign, underwater cable here, so it's not worth losing my stuff. I already lost plenty. Positively no fishing beyond this point. I know that street to the right. I haven't been over there, so I can't really tell you, but this is where I'm parking. Alright guys, thanks for watching. Stay tuned to the next video. Remember to smash that like button, give us a comment, and subscribe. Everything I use is under the description below, so check that out as well.